Hello, and welcome to this lesson on research data management. I'm Seth Voletich, the Scholarly Communications Librarian at the Colorado School of Mines. Research data management is critical to ensuring your work can be shared and is not lost to you or others who may need it. By the end of this lesson, I would like you to be able to communicate the value of managing and organizing your data. These skills are valuable in a variety of situations. You may find yourself needing to share data with others in your research group or with researchers outside of that group. I would also like you to be able to develop a data management plan. Effectively, a data management plan is a roadmap to how you intend to store, share, and organize data. While funders may require you to develop a plan to manage your data at the time of grant application, these plans can be helpful tools in any project that produces or gathers data. Finally, I would like you to be able to find an appropriate repository for your data. This has two benefits. First, it gives you an idea of where you might put your own data, and second, by finding an appropriate repository for your data, you can also find data that others have shared within your discipline that may be appropriate to you. Repositories provide long-term storage and accessibility for research data. By storing data in a repository, you ensure that it is preserved and can be accessed by other researchers. This practice not only supports collaboration, but also promotes transparency and reproducibility in research. By the end of this lesson, you will have a foundational understanding of research data management and the tools to implement effective practices in your own work. Let's get started. Why is this relevant to you? Regardless of research interests, good data management practices can help you stay better organized and improve your productivity. Good data practices can enable easier migration between computers, make succession planning easier, and help reduce your frustrations and downtime. Establishing these practices as a matter of habit will help you in the long term. You can also think of data management as a carrot or stick problem. And whether you prefer rewards or just want to avoid punishment, it doesn't matter. Good research data management practices can help ensure that you are in compliance, help you be more productive, and help other researchers too. It is beneficial all around, and I hope you'll see that as we progress through this lesson. So first, let's start with the positive reasons you might want to practice good data management. There are altruistic reasons to appropriately manage and share your data. Sharing your data can enhance public trust in your research. If the data behind the conclusions you draw is available and accessible to your audience, they can see the connections and may be more readily able to draw the same conclusions, or at least better understand how you got there. Sharing your data in a way that is easily accessible to the general public allows folks to engage in the research you're doing. It creates opportunities to grow the impact of your research while encouraging more people who may not have access to the resources you do to participate in the research process. In many cases, the public is funding your research. They should have access to the data you produce and benefit from the information that stems from the work they fund. You can also improve replicability of your research through managing your data appropriately. This relates back to public trust. It can help prevent duplication of efforts. If you're using the same data or producing data relevant to another research group, it may be beneficial to share your data in a way that they can access, read, and benefit from it, just as you can benefit from shared data. Finally, you can help colleagues by managing your data well. If colleagues can access your data, it helps build an environment that benefits the entire community of researchers. If altruism isn't enough of a reason to share your research, it also benefits you. By sharing and managing your research data in a way that encourages reuse, you can increase your citation counts. These metrics can factor into promotion and tenure as well as your employability outside of academia. Likewise, it can increase your impact and reputation. This too can help further your career. Managing your data well can help you avoid losing work. Imagine your computer crashes and you lose the last few hours of work. I've been there and suspect you have too. It's frustrating to waste your work and time. Now imagine that it's the work that you've been doing over the course of the last year and your hard drive crashes or your file ends up corrupted without a backup. That would be devastating from a personal and professional standpoint. Proper data management techniques can ensure you don't find yourself in that type of situation. Finally, it can make your life easier to be organized, ensure interoperability of files, and develop workflows which foster proper data management. You can find the data you're looking for more easily. You can revisit prior work without trying to retrace your steps and put yourself in the mindset you were in years prior, trying to figure out what you named files or individual fields. You also won't need to worry about finding some deprecated software. Finally, there may be external pressure to ensuring you are managing your data appropriately. Funding agencies may have requirements you need to follow. Funding agencies have been moving more towards open sharing of data. The data you produce may have implications beyond what you originally intended, and funders want the money they invest in research to have as broad of an impact as possible. Funders may have very specific requirements you need to follow in order to ensure you are adhering to contractual obligations signed in grant agreements. Journals may also have data sharing and management requirements. They want to ensure your research is replicable and the data you produce is available for future quality assurance. Finally, there may be institutional or organizational policies. If your research needs to go through an institutional review board, they will inquire about data management and security. Throughout this lesson, I'll discuss best practices for organizing your data, including naming conventions, metadata standards, and file formats. These practices help make your data more understandable and usable for others. I'll discuss repository options and how to evaluate which ones are best suited to your needs. I'll dive into factors to consider, including the type of data you're working with, disciplinary norms, and repository policies. Finally, I'll also explore tools and resources available for creating data management plans. Many institutions and funding agencies offer templates and guidelines to help you get started. Up next, I have embedded a video called A Data Management and Sharing Snafu in 3 Short Acts. This introduces a lot of the concepts covered in this lesson. If you haven't watched it before, I recommend you do so now. After that, there is an activity where you'll guess the bad data management practices that caused a particular situation.